What a mess. I tell you what. I got this product right here, acetone. It's able to cut through the gum. Finally got it where it's not sticky anymore. Now the problem that I still have is you can see where I've taken it off all the way down to almost the drywall paper. You know, this paint right here is 3, 4, or 5 coats of paint, and so I'm gonna have to come up with some drywall mud, and I'm gonna have to go over these and then let them dry, sand them off, because this surface has to be exactly level to get the nice finish that you want. If not, if I just paint that the way it is, you're gonna still see those spots are gonna stick out. Oh boy, what a mess. What a mess. Like you see this a little bit sticky still here, so I've got to put more on there, and I've got to get it all the way down and redo it. So don't use a stick-on and stuff. Put your little nail in there, drill your little hole, put one of them white plastic anchors that screw into the wall, and put a screw in it and hang your pictures. And when you're done, take them off, put some drywall mud on it, and it'll be done. That's a mess. I'll have a couple hours in messing with this, where, you know, it should have took 10 minutes to fill some nail holes and be done with it. Let that dry, put a coat of drywall mud over the top of it, lightly sand it. Finally, it'll be ready to paint. Of course, I'll have to hit these spots 1 or 2 times more than I will the actual wall, so I'll hit those first, do my other walls, let the paint set up, and then coat this entire wall. Second coat the other walls, come back in, and second coat this one, so these spots will actually have 3 coats on them. But that way there, once it's all done, it'll blend in. That's your sticky stuff. Stay away from it. Okay, this will be the final stage of repair. You can see I've went ahead and sanded these down, but I just thought I'd just explain this just a little bit. What has happened here is I put the drywall, a thin coat over the top. What I want to do is I want to focus on sanding this edge down and then just kind of feathering it out. And then right here in the middle, there wasn't a hole, it was just where the paint was thicker than the actual drywall paper. So when I go to hit the middle here, basically I'm just going to hit it 2 or 3 times and get off of it. The more I stay on it, the more I'm going to sink it down. It's going to leave a dip. When you look at it sideways, you're going to see where it dips in. So what we want to do is just basically hit this edge. Feather that out. Okay, and then when it comes to the middle now, I'm just going to take it very lightly and get off of it. And there we go. And I go across that, I don't feel any ridges. It's all nice and smooth. The same with this one here and this one. And so at that point right there, they will be ready to paint. Okay, so I'm about ready to paint this room. I've got the places where someone had stuck some flowers on the wall with the sticky pads. You saw what a mess it was. And finally got those ready to go. What you want to remember when you're painting is painting will not cover up any imperfection. And sometimes it may even highlight an imperfection on a wall. If you go to touch a wall, you run your hand across it and you feel a dip, you feel a groove, you feel something sticking out on it. You've got to take care of it if you want a nice paint job. painting will not cover it at all. It all depends how particular you are on your painting, how you want it to look. You take a room like this, I roughly have 5 or 6 hours on this preparation, and I'm just now getting ready to roll the walls. A lot of it had to do with this right here. After I got these fixed, I went and sanded the walls down. You can see where the color we're going to use is a bare marquee, and you can see I've got it trimmed out. I always like to tape my seams, especially if it's a high vis seam. I like to tape the bottom. When you go to row, the paint will not splatter on the baseboard, and it also leaves a nice professional look. Windows all taped. You don't have to do that. Once again, it depends on the quality, how you want the job to look. If you want it to look like a professional came in and painted your house, well, you kind of got to go through these steps in order to make it look really good. And I'm going to go ahead and roll the walls, get the first coat on, and then I'll go back in, trim out one more time, and I'll roll the second time. Twice trim out, twice row. The end product is pretty nice. Always want to be sure to pour plenty enough paint out. Plenty of paint. You can always pour it back in the can. You don't want to get real close to the end and be low on paint, because you're going to start pushing your roller, try to squeeze it out. You're going to cause lines and things like that. So you don't want to do that. And always put your lid back on. Never leave your lid off. Not only for a spill, but you're just letting all the fumes out and drying your paint out. I think one of the best tips that I could give anyone who's thinking about doing some painting, if you don't have the time to do it correctly, don't even start it. Painting is one of those things you cannot rush it no matter what. Have a few hours and you think you're going to paint a room, it's going to turn out to be a disaster. So make sure you have enough time scheduled that you can go in and do your prep work right, apply your several coats of paint, and you'll be very satisfied with the end result. If you rush it, it's going to haunt you, because it's going to turn out horrible and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. And sometimes, if it turns out bad enough, it's going to be hard to even fix it. Make sure you have time scheduled to do the job right. There you go. It's as easy as that, right? But the nice thing about painting is you get good at it, you can trade painting for other projects. A job like this, these are friends of mine that have come and helped me out at the cabin. So in return, I can spend a day here and paint their room for them. So it works out pretty nice. I guess you noticed too, the extension pole I use, It's always better to try to stay away from the wall. It helps with paint fumes, and then also it gives you a better perspective if you're standing away from the wall rather than to just have the handle and be up close. So I always like to use an extension handle. Obviously some rooms would be smaller than the others and you have to just use the handle, but if you've got an extension, it always works better. I hope that helps out. I'll let this dry. I'll go ahead and cut it in one more time. Go ahead and roll it one more time and be done. I hope you enjoyed that. LAF space FILMFEST. That's capital LAF space FILMFEST. I'll see you on the next project around the cabin. That list seems like it never goes away. Have a good day.